January 5th, 2016. A quick overview via photos of the 22 drawings now completed in the Under the Wings, in the Sightseeing with Dignity Human Rights Art Series. And there are 18 of those works now framed and exhibition ready for college art galleries and other venues. So the series began in 2003 with the drawing of Benjamin Hermansen, a 15-year-old black-skinned Norwegian youth, knifed to death by members of the Boot Boys, a racist skinhead group in Oslo. The second drawing, this is not a sharp photo, depicts a 2-month-old Vietnamese infant born in 1998 who died at 2 months of age suffering from hydro-encephalatis. It was inspired by a photograph I saw in a book by the late Welsh photojournalist Philip Jones Griffith. The drawing is called The Birth and Death of the World. The third drawing, Be On Guard, depicts, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Voeuk, V as in Victor, last name P as in Peter, E-A-C-H, a Cambodian man murdered by the Khmer Rouge in 1977. The fourth drawing depicts a Cambodian mom and her infant daughter murdered at the Chul Sling Torture Center in Pnomn Penh. These are people visiting during an open house in the building where my studio is. The fifth drawing was portrays Harvey Milk, the first openly gay elected official, alderman in San Francisco, a victim of both the American gun genocide as well as anti-gay hate crime. So that's the fifth. Sixth drawing depicts Jerzy Pobielski, a Polish priest and Solidarity supporter, Solidarność Polish, who was slain by 3 Polish police officers in fall 1984, which coincidentally was shortly after I had just come back from my first summer studies in Poland. So that's 6. Number 7 depicts Dial Torgerson. He was a middle-aged, in his 50s, journalist for the LA Times, a reporter. He and a young freelance photographer named, I think his name was Alex Cross, were blown up in a landmine planted by reportedly by the Honduran military on the Honduras-El Salvador border. This was in 1983, during the years of the civil wars that raged through Central America. The next drawing is a pear, eyes above mouth, nose on the bottom panel, depicts Jesus Piedra Ibarra, a 20-year-old Mexican medical student who was desaparecido, disappeared in Monterrey, Mexico in 1975. He was leftist and disappearance presumably at the hands of the police or military. The next drawing is a multiple image one depicting Anna Politkovskaya, New York-born Russian national journalist who was slain in 2006, reportedly at the hands of the Putin dictatorship. The following drawing, called Sophie Scholl, makes a rare appearance on the other side at the hospital prison bedside of Boubacar Ba, an illegal immigrant in Newark, New Jersey, 2007. This is the only work that melds both the Under the Wings Holocaust series and a victim of a contemporary human rights atrocity. Boubacar was in this privately run detention center, and he will say hi.
Oh, hello, hello, hello. And Osmond, say hello.
Hi.
Jolly good show.
Fancy attire you got there today. Nice duds. He had been living in New York, working as a tailor, had gone back to see family in Guinea. When he came back, he was arrested for having overstayed his original visa. Was in this privately run detention center, Corrections Corporation of America, under contract with the Department of Justice. While in his cell, he had fallen, hit his head on a porcelain toilet, and seen by guards and other prison staff and so on, foaming at the mouth and vomiting, he was ignored and died due to the draconian nature of secrecy laws post 9/11. Little was divulged about his death to his family. I read about him in an article by Nina Bernstein in the New York Times. The next drawing depicts Akmal Sheikh, a Pakistani-born Muslim background, a British businessman who had a family in London, later divorced from it, and was living in Warsaw, Poland. He was mentally ill, was induced into taking a suitcase into China on being told that he would be recording a hit song in China that would usher in world peace. He was arrested for drug trafficking and executed on December 29th, 2009. The next drawing depicts Rodrigo Rojas de Negre, a 19-year-old Chilean who had grown up most of his life in Toronto and around Washington, D.C. He had, as an infant or toddler, he had fled Chile with his mother, went back to Chile in his late teens, and was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was set on fire while watching an anti-government demonstration, and succumbed to his injuries that the military had both perpetrated and were not having proper medical care for. A woman who was also burned and dumped in a field, as was Rodrigo, survived, although badly burned. Another victim of the Chilean military regime, Victor Jara, a singer, songwriter, and murdered in the stadium in Santiago after the coup d'etat. This is the first of two drawings done so far depicting victims of the dehumanization of the other in the Israeli-Palestinian never-ending conflict. The boy on the top, a 13-year-old Jewish boy, lived in a settlement with his family in the West Bank. The boy at bottom, of unknown name, and it's called Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleichem. I've interwoven the Hebrew and Arabic greetings, hello and goodbye. Next drawing depicts Ken Saro-Wiwa, the Nigerian author, environmental activist, and indigenous peoples defender, who was executed with a number of others in a sham military trial in 1995 in Nigeria. This is the only drawing in the sightseeing series that predates the Second World War. Reuben Stacy was a young African-American man lynched in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in 1935. The second work I've done portraying a victim of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, it's called The Situation is at Hand, homage to Giuliano Mercamus. Mercamus was born to a Jewish Israeli mother and a Palestinian Christian father. He served in an elite IDF military unit and later became an actor and noted documentary filmmaker. At the time of his assassination, he was the director of the Freedom Theater in Jenin, teaching theater arts to young Palestinian youth and young adults. This is a portrait of Chico Mendes, another environmental defender, indigenous peoples defender, Amazonian rubber tapper, who was slain by a rancher in 2000. I have to look up the year. think it was around 1988, something like that. He was in his 40s. This was a portrait of Pavlos Fissis, who was in his mid-30s when he was murdered by a member of the Golden Dawn, kind of xenophobic, neo-Nazi, anti-immigrant far-right party in Greece. Fissis was an anti-fascist rapper. The drawing is called The Sea Monsters and the Angry Chicken, homage to Pavlos Fissis. The last three drawings were done last year. This is most of the drawing done in spring 2015, depicts Elizabeth Blanche Olofio. She was a radio journalist in the Central African Republic. I couldn't get because of the length, I couldn't get the whole thing in one photograph. This is shows kind of how the wing on her left, if yours right, would extend out if I had a large enough photograph. The wings were drawn at the Voeuk Museum, by the way, in the Ornithology Lab, Voeuk Museum of Natural History, University of Washington. She was targeted by gunmen in 2013 and died of her injuries in 2014. The 21st drawing depicts a victim of a terrorism attack, one of many, many, many gun terror attacks in the United States. Ryan Elizabeth Mace was 19, a student at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, when a terrorist came in and murdered her and other classmates on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2008. And then the most, so that was done this fall, as was this drawing here, depicting Zakaria Ibrahim Issa, a 20-year-old American immigrant from Kenya, who was slain, shot to death in Seattle on July 31st, 2015. The wings also drawn at Voeuk. And another victim of the American gun-driven, gun lobby genocide and terrorism. There you have it. There are videos up on YouTube of a number of the individual works. April 27th, I believe, 2015. I've just begun the Sightseeing with Dignity drawing number 20, memorializing a murdered, slain journalist, Elizabeth Blanche Olofio, who perished in the Central African Republic in 2013. So either this Wednesday or next Monday, I'm going to take it up to the Voeuk and start working on wings, to be continued. Greetings, May 4th, 2015. I'm at the Voeuk Ornithology Lab. Got a work table here, so I've been drawing from 3 different wings, from birds from South Africa, one from KwaZulu-Natal province, 2 from Orange, hang on a sec here, Orange Free State province, Harris Smith. So, 3 wings drawing from, but I've got actually 4 wings drawn. So this here, hang on folks, was drawn there. And then I drew this here, kind of extending out that way. Of course,
this is all pencil. I have to do the inking. Then I flipped this one over and drew that like that. And then I drew this one that way. So, and I'm going to do a color wash here. Got a lot of, looks like gray from here, but it's actually blues, browns, greens, and a lot of different, or several different shades of kind of red and magenta here. Let's have a closer look here. See what the light that comes through. It's actually amazing. So there you have it, to be continued.
Greetings, May 9th. I'm going to do a kind of quick overview from left to right. Then I'm going to walk in closer, and hopefully it will stay in focus, and I'll video the detail. Also kind of come back here, do an overview of the whole work. Okay, I'm going to start from the left. And I'm going to attach a couple of URLs of organizations that fight to protect the lives of journalists, as journalists worldwide are imprisoned by repressive regimes, targeted by corrupt politicians, drug dealers, arms dealers, what have you. Murdered, killed, slain, covering conflict zones and wars and so on. Journalists and photojournalists both have my utmost admiration. So there you have it, in memory of Elizabeth Blanche Olofio, I don't know how the last name was pronounced. I'm planning on framing it simply, which is why I kind of left the margin border around it. Thank you.